See some turtles up on this log here sunning themselves. Oh. Muskrat. All right, and there's our destination, our lovely Parks Canada campsite. The only thing I'm noticing is the seawall's really high for a kayak. Let's check it out. Well, this is about normal. This is Eastern Ontario. Naturally, I've got a campsite, beautifully manicured Parks Canada campsite with a huge dock, mowed lawn, picnic tables, barbecues, completely to myself. And this will be my view out of my tent in the morning. I believe that's the direction the sun should rise, right that way over top of the river and the wetlands there. Alright, and there's my sleeping setup. Pretty basic thermarest mattress, 0 rated down sleeping bag, and I'll use my dry bag, which is stuffed full of spare clothes, as a pillow. It's actually going to be really comfortable because this grass that we're on is nice and soft, and the tent is way big enough for one person. It's a 4-person tent, and it's a good size 4-person tent. So yeah, just me and the dog in here tonight. So, I think most people would get a smaller stove, but, I use what I have. The other thing is the Lock Station has charcoal barbecues, so if you don't own any stove at all, you can just bring charcoal and charcoal lighter fluid. Just a regular pot, a couple of utensils. I didn't bring any fancy food. I brought canned pea soup and rice to put in it, so it's going to be a pretty simple dinner. And can opener. If you bring canned foods, bring a can opener. Again, canned foods, they're not really what's recommended for kayak camping in a lot of cases because you want something that's very packable. But I'm not doing any portages, and I have a ton of space, and I didn't have time to make pre-dehydrated food or something like that. So I just got canned stuff because that works. But yeah, you don't want to portage canned stuff, that's for sure. Okay, so these alcohol stoves are pretty easy to use. That's one nice thing about them. If I can figure out how this barbecue lighter works. Okay, that's going. Soup's already in. Oh, we're on a bit of a hill here, eh? Maybe I should put a stick under one end of the stove. I'm going to add some rice to the pea soup. It'll make it nice and filling. There'll be enough for the dog to have some too if he wants. Right, so as I mentioned, this is a lock station. And so this is the lock. Manual mechanisms. I assume they're probably locked right now because it's off season. Alright, there's the lock. And I'll go show you what's above the lock. Alright, and this is the top of the lock. So as you can see, it's a man-made canal, a stone canal. Maybe 300-400 meters long, and then there's a swing bridge and another lock. So the reason that this lock station exists is it's actually circumventing a waterfall. on the Rideau River, so that so this allows boats to get around those waterfalls, and that's why this is here. The canal is drained of water right now, so it's basically completely dry. So normally the water would be, you know, like 5 feet higher in this canal, I guess. All right, so I did bring a little canteen cup that I could eat out of, but I don't know. I'm just gonna eat out of the pot because it's just me, right? So who cares? That's pretty good. Oh, we decided to walk this trail after all. See if we can go find those waterfalls. I can hear them, but I'm thinking at some point maybe there will be a side trail, just kind of cut off into the bush. Hopefully. Still on our walk along the canal. Thought these trees looked interesting. And the rocks are interesting too. I guess that's still meltwater. Must be. It's dribbling down underneath the trees on the far side. Alright, so here's that manually operated swing bridge that I was mentioning earlier. I'm not quite sure how this one works. At any rate, here's the upper Nicholsons lock. Alright, I'm hearing the sound of waterfalls down this little road here. Okay, narrow bridge. And this is the Canoe Portage for people in small boats who don't want to use the locks and want to go around the locks. This is the portage. So there's the portage there. That's the put-in for canoes. Alright, and there are the waterfalls there. It actually looks like a low-head dam followed by a ledge. It looks like there used to be an old bridge, maybe a rail bridge or something that crossed there and has been destroyed. It is no longer there. So low-head dam, and then a ledge, and then some fairly prolonged rapids. It's a really, really pretty spot. I'm not sure if this will be visible on this camera in this light, but I just found this really spooky old set of condemned stairs with vines growing on them, and looks like it goes up to the old lockmaster's house. The dog wants to go explore. I don't think so. I think they're condemned for a reason, dog. Well, there's sunset over that way. I think I'm going to retire to the tent soon. Yeah, well, I was thinking about reading or something, but now that I'm in here, I'm feeling pretty sleepy, so I think when the sun goes down, I don't think it's going to be too hard just to fall asleep, so I'm not even going to get out my book. Well, that wasn't the worst sleep ever. It wasn't the best. It was cold. I thought about bringing a bigger sleeping bag, and I should have, but you know, I've had colder. At least it wasn't cold, windy, or wet. Also, this tent's really big for one person, so the tent doesn't warm up at all. Alright, I'm gonna wait for the sun to get a little higher in the sky, and then I'll get up, I guess. Oh, it's cold, but it's pretty. A little bit of mist coming off the river. According to my phone, it's about 6 degrees Celsius. So that's chilly enough. I think the water level's gone down overnight. Huh. Alright, it doesn't go right to the waterfalls, but it goes to this old bridge. This old ruined bridge. And never pass up a trail that might lead to a waterfall. That's my rule. I wonder if in lower water, if that's kayakable. And persistence pays off. We found a beautiful, looks like a stone arch dam. And, woo! That's a lot of water. I don't know if I'd want to be kayaking past that. Yeah, so this is interesting. So this is an area where it's normally safe to kayak past or boat past, but if you can see the water flowing under this bridge, there's no way that this would be safe to do right now. The chances of getting sucked down that sluiceway would be just too great. Yeah, that would suck you right down there. Oh yeah, this is pretty. This is the top of the Stone Arch Dam. Well, I figure we may as well have something to eat before getting back on the river, we being the dog and I. And today, for breakfast, we're doing a jerk chicken soup with vegetables. Which sounds interesting. Nice thick stuff. I'm just gonna eat out of the pot again. It smells good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, and there's the boat packed up, loaded up and ready for travel. You know, I got everything nice and low. The tent and stove and backpack are stuffed up underneath the bow. And then I've got my dry bag and my cooler sitting in the back seat because the back seat's not in use. And then I got a few things in the cargo hold in the stern, like my stove fuel, and not sure what else is in there. And I've laid the Thermarest mattress down in the bilge. That's to give the dog something to sleep on because he doesn't like laying down in the water. But there's lots of room for him. This squishes down, and he'll sit right up in the bow. I'll sit there and paddle, and we'll stay out of each other's way, like an old pro. A little bit of current today helping us out. Not that I'm in a rush. Still, it's nice to be with the current. There are a lot of geese out and about this morning, migrating, I guess. A lot of birds in general. It's a nice morning. Well, that's it. That's all done. That's my kayak camping trip to Nicholsons Rapids. Just time to get the boat out of the water and load it up onto the roof of the car. That's all.